food, water, fire, shelter is what you need to thrive in any environment, is the truth. And you just don't want to go out there and film and be like, I'm going to do the bare minimum. No, you want to push your limits. What is the point of going out in the wild if you can't figure out what you're really capable of? And if you have no fear of failure, you're unstoppable. My name is Amber Hargrove. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I served 12 years active duty in the Army. I enjoyed every moment of it. 2 combat tours. They really shaped who I am today. I'm an outdoor survivalist. I like to run out in the wild naked and survive with just using my bare hands, a knife, and a ferro rod. I enjoy wrestling alligators, and I love being a mom. When I was a little kid, my mom, we were raised very poor. We didn't have a lot of money, so she used to take us out in the wild and we would build forts, or she taught us how to fish. It really impacted my life enough where I think that's why I'm such an independent woman itself in that manner, because of my mom. And learning how to fish and learning how to build shelters and start fires was a passion of mine. And I instilled that in my children. And in the military, when we were deployed in Iraq, we would have a lot of time. So we had a bunch of SEER Army soldiers out there saying, let's go do some training. And we're like, well, we'll volunteer for this. And man, I learned so much from them. And I really got to figure out who I am and what I'm passionate about, because I forgot about who I was as a kid and what I used to love doing. And when I got out of the military, I decided, you know what? I'm going to apply for a show. And not sure if they're going to want me or not, but currently I go out and I wrestle alligators. And when I say wrestle alligators, I mean literally get in the water with them, rip them out of the water, mount their mouth open, and just rip them back. And that feeling is just insane. I can't explain it. I don't recommend you should go out there and just grab an alligator and jump on the back of it. I really think you should consider the training and pushing your limits or who you are as a human. Once I got that under my belt, I'm like, man, what else can I do? So why not apply for a show for Discovery Channel for Naked and Afraid? And I went out there and I did it. I have 187 days out in the wild, most days in the wild for a woman. And I'm addicted to it for sure. I guess it's an adrenaline rush for me personally, knowing I can get over my fear. I used to be incredibly scared of alligators, is the truth. And I heard there's this place in Moscow, Colorado. You can get in the water and they'll train you how to react with them in the water, how to maneuver them with their tails. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna go do it. I brought my daughter with me. She thought it was crazy. So I got in the water and the guy said, oh, no. Take your shoes off. Take your socks off. And I'm like, oh, he's nuts. So did I do it? Yes, I did. I went in there with no fear and just grabbed the tail of that gator and just ripped it out of the water, mounted it back, opened up its jaws. It was about 6 foot total, and I mounted it back. And when I did that, that was that moment of my heart calmed. And it wasn't one of those moments of, yeah, it was a moment like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can put my mind to do anything. I honestly have no fear of failure, is the truth. So the premises of Naked and Afraid, when you look at it, it looks like crazy people go out in the wild completely naked. First of all, I am not a naked person. I'll tell you, the first time I went filming was in the Everglades, and I was wearing cowgirl boots and a camo bikini. And the producer said, all right, Amber, it's time. You're gonna go meet your partner, start taking your clothes off. It took me 3 resets just to get out of my cowgirl boots. Even when I got the bikini off, I am not comfortable with this at all. I started to sweat a little bit, and I'm like, can I do this? Can I go out there and be naked in front of this person? Man, I finally got my cowgirl boots off and put my foot inside of that muck and got bit by a horsefly, and I was like, game on. And going out into the wild when we're filming, you know, some people ask me, is this show real or not? And the truth, it is real. It's a reality show. Are we guided? No, we are not guided. When you watch my character and who I am in those real moments of whether it's perseverance or it's becoming resilient in these hard moments of starving and then you finally get food, those are real emotions and reactions and what we deal with. I learned more about myself is how to work with people better and communicate. In the beginning with my partner, Ryan, in the Everglades, I really struggled with communicating with him. He was a Marine and I was in the Army, and putting us together was a little difficult. He didn't like that I was Army, and you know, it had a little conflict, and I had to learn how to deal with that, how to be approachable with your partner. I'm thinking, man, we're gonna be out here 21 days. I don't wanna kill this guy. We need to survive together. And I know it's gonna be hard out here. I figured out a way to work with him, so I started sharing my techniques with him. I taught him how to spearfish, how to skin a snake. You know, there's a couple crazy moments out there in the Everglades where I caught a cottonmouth and she had eggs on her. And Ryan was terrified of it. And I was like, listen, guy, it's not a tuna. It was eggs. And so I actually got some apple snail shells and I put some water in it. I didn't know how to do that. I've never done that before. I've never even ate a snake egg before, but I just figured it out. Totally winged it. It's probably why I got parasites. But as I'm eating this egg, I'm realizing, man, there's so much protein in it. And I got to share this moment with him in front of the fire where we were sharing our food. And I realized, wow, if we really work together as a team, we're capable of anything. First time meeting my partner walking up in the water, I realized it was so real. And we didn't have bug spray, we didn't have anything on us. And I was getting tore up from the floor up. I walk up to Ryan, I shake his hand. And I was like, don't look down, don't, I'm looking down. Dang it, I'm looking down. Like, I'm not trying to be rude or inappropriate, but when you see somebody naked, you can't help yourself to stare. And plus I have boobs, I'm a woman. And he was like trying really hard not to make an awkward face with me. It was a moment of surreal, like we're really here to do this. Like there's no turning back and there's no failure. We can't fail here. So we just decided to talk through our issues and problems. He was very clear he didn't want me there in the beginning and that he's here to do this by himself. And I reminded him, hey, the only way you can survive out here is by working with your partner. And he didn't know how to fish or catch anything. So I was like, well, he needs me. I'm a lifeline out here. So we had a great time, had a little bit of an argument. I didn't mean to call him a bad word on TV. He wouldn't get in the water. There was an 8-foot alligator. I needed his help ripping it out. And he said I was crazy. And I called him the P word. I regret it because I didn't mean to offend him so much. And we had our moments. And then at the end of the day, though, we realized sitting in that shelter that we built in the rain, it was pouring down. Our shelter was waterproof. It was awesome. And we had our fire and we realized, man, really blessed to be out here to have this experience. Day 2, I went out there and I was like, I'm gonna go get us some breakfast. And he laughed at me and he goes, oh, okay. We had a really hard night. Mosquitoes tore us up. I think my eye was swollen shut a little bit. I had 1,000 bites on my body. But I went out to the swamp and I caught myself 2 turtles and a bunch of crawfish and I made him a crawfish boil. And we had that joyous moment of enjoying this food. It was so delicious. Best thing I've ever eaten in the wild was turtle soup that I made and those cottonmouth snake eggs. I was incredibly terrified about the water because we only had this little glass bottle that I found in the swamp and we had to fill that up with water and we had to boil that. And that was our only water resource because you have to boil water for a minimum of 10 minutes. Well, where we were at in the Everglades, we had cow patties everywhere. So there's nothing but poop in the water. So I was really paranoid about parasites out there and, had to boil the water. Well, on day 16, I woke up. I was incredibly sick. I started puking and pooping everywhere is the truth. And I was like, what is going on with me? My partner pulls me aside and says, I gotta be honest, I haven't been boiling the water. Yeah, that's when I had to leave that challenge on day 16 and I had dysentery and I had roundworm on my stomach lining and some other issues. So it took me about 2 weeks in the hospital to recover. I didn't get to finish my first 21-day challenge, but it was an experience I'll never forget. So make sure you watch your partner boil that damn water. I gotta be honest, after filming, he called me and apologized to me. He felt really bad, but he said, everything happens for a reason, was his answer. Yeah, didn't talk to him anymore after that, but I did, I do pray for him and, I'm a very forgiving person. So all I can do is live and learn. My lesson was never let your partner boil the water without you watching. I didn't understand that concept because as a survivalist, and there's food, water, fire, shelter is what you need to thrive in any environment is the truth. And you just don't want to go out there and film and be like, I'm going to do the bare minimum. No, you want to push your limits. What is the point of going out in the wild if you can't figure out what you're really capable of? And if you have no fear of failure, you're unstoppable. You can do anything. I have been on 6 different seasons for Discovery Channel, and I'm definitely addicted to it. I will say the most enduring experience in figuring out who I am as a person was 60 days in Peru. We flew out to Iquitos, and they put us on the Amazon River, and I got to be with some of the worst people I've ever met in my life to some of the greatest people I've ever experienced in surviving in the wild. And it was a balancing act and figuring out who I am and what my role was. Because when you go there with a partner, you have no idea what your expectations are unless you set the standard. You're in charge of boiling water today. I'm going to go fish. You work on the shelter. Let's rotate. Some people don't like that. Some people like to what I call wing it. And then it becomes a risk. So I got to experience that. But I will say I caught 4 different caiman out there and 6 snakes. think I caught over 64 fish out there. I was loving it. After the shows, it really led to meeting my husband, as the truth. He's a bladesmith, and I got to meet him at some of the biggest knife conventions out there. And he's my best friend, and he really reminded me of who I really am. And he actually made me, the truth is, I wasn't a really good mom, I'll be honest. I can admit that. Kids are hard. I used to travel a lot. I had 2 kids, and I put my career first. And I realized when I met my husband, he really centered me. He was like, spend more time with the children. And us as a family, we go to church. We believe in God. We work together as a team. He is my best friend. And I love spending time with my children. I realized I want to put my energy with all my knowledge towards even the neighbors' kids, teaching them how to build shelters with my children. I taught every little girl around here, 4 of them. They're all the same age. They're all 8 years old, how to fish, how to put that hook on that worm, the worm on the hook, because I realized they don't know how to do that. People are forgetting to spend time with their kids, and it really made me a better person. My husband inspires me to just do anything. He supports my adventures that I go on. It's hard. He's a stay-at-home mom for me when I need to go out and film, and I'm very grateful to have him. And he lets me go in the forge. I get kicked out of the forge a lot, I'll be honest, but I'm lucky to have him. When I think about being a mom or a stay-at-home mom, I've never had a chance to experience that. And when I met my husband is when I didn't work. I stopped working, and I took 3 years with my children. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a job. Those moms out there who are stay-at-home moms, you should be proud of who you are. You shouldn't be ashamed of, you stayed home with your kids. Let me tell you a secret. You are badass, okay? It takes a lot of patience, heart-driven. You are motivating these children. You are making them to be who they are. It takes a lot. And being there as a mom, when kids don't have that, it reflects through them as the truth. I didn't have a dad growing up, and it really showed through who I am. I'm very independent. I wasn't used to a guy being able to come to the table, and my husband does that. It is a huge work balance being a mom and being a wife at the same time. But let me tell you, spending time with those kids, that is the hardest job I've ever done in my life. And when I talk to some of the moms and they know who I am or what I've done, they're like, I was like, what do you do? And they're like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And I'm like, that's awesome. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you are so great. Are you kidding me? The sacrifice you make to take care of your family, you're the heart of that home right there. And moms should be more proud of themselves. I mean, you're doing something a lot of people can't do. I struggled with it with many years connecting with my children, is the truth. And now I'm there. So I'm very proud of how I'm inspiring my youngest and my oldest daughter how to be a woman or want to be outdoors, and they have no fear of failing. My daughter's joining the Air Force. She's going our ROTC program. She is a strong leader, and I look at her and I see myself in her. And then the youngest, my stepdaughter, Ivy, she is wild, and I love it. I love that she'll go out there and get in the water with the gators with me. Not big ones, I'll put her near baby ones, but she has no fear. And, she has faith in me to guide her, and that means a lot. Next step for me right now is, I gotta be honest, I love making knives with my husband. I am looking forward to eventually having a husband and wife knife come out. We do have a Barracuda design that we made together through the Dark Timber Custom Knives. It's our first knife together, but man, I love being around him. And what do I do for my real day job is really kind of funny. I'm an HVAC supervisor for Tipping Hat here locally. I love my job. I get to talk to customers. I know it sounds crazy, but AC and heating is a big deal in your home. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. And I have fun with my customers. It's more entertaining when I go to a customer's house and I'm on their TV, and the guy is like, "Guy, I feel like I know you." And I'm like, "Not that I'm naked on your TV right now, guy. That's me, But I have fun with it. And I have a wonderful boss, and it's family-owned business, and I really just love my job. Are there other opportunities out there for me to do other shows right now? Yes. They want me to come back in a couple months, and I'm like, man, I have so much time out in the wild. How far can I push my limits as a survivalist? I've already done everything that I can do. What is the next step for me? Honestly, I gotta be honest, Cal. I want to host. I would love to host a show. I think I would have a great time with it. I'm very outgoing. I mean, look who I'm married to. He's awesome. I could do a show on this guy. That'd be entertaining. But yeah, I just want to keep pushing myself. Why not? What else can I do? If I could tell anybody anything when they're in a position, they're stuck at a job, and they're like, I want to be able to be better than what I am, but I can't. And they're so scared. They're so scared of failure. Don't be scared of failure. If you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I have no fear of failing, and you believe in yourself, that's all that matters. You don't need other people to believe in you. That's what I learned the hard way. When I was down in the dirt, I was thinking to myself, in the hardest moments in the military, am I going to survive this? Am I going to get through it? And the moment I realized, Amber, I'm talking myself through it. I'm my own motivator. I believe in myself. I know what I'm capable of. I know I can do it. You got to believe it. You got to will it to happen, and you can do anything. My name is Amber Hargrove, and I'm a great American woman.
Thanks for watching this episode of Great American Warriors, featuring the women around America who are serving all Americans both overseas as well as right here at home. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss a moment of Great American Warriors. If you or someone you know is a great American warrior, message us today to be considered for an upcoming episode.